Am I the a-hole for dumping my boyfriend immediately after he said he owns my company? Brian, male 40 and I, female 38, initiated a relationship after months of flirting. I was super into him. I liked him a lot, and I felt like I was getting a real partner. Things started to change after we became intimate. I felt taken for granted, and like it moved me down to his list of priorities. This took me a hot minute to process because I had feelings for him. He also has a daughter that I care about, female 18, and I didn't want to lose that relationship. I'm a business owner in the innovation space and have been very active with a group in my area. I'm suspecting that Brian got close to me for what he could get out of it, rather than wanting a real connection. He has a very dark relationship with his ex-wife. He claims that she has made his life miserable because she still wants him. However, the news that she had a steady relationship hit him hard last week, and he went crazy. He said insulting things about her new guy. They've been divorced for at least 5 years. I asked if he knew him, and he didn't even know his name. I'd been telling him that I don't enjoy his jokes. He's gone from nice and loving to say degrading things. And honestly, I've asked him if he's listening to Red Pill podcast or what. I'm confused about these new trends, and I don't know how to assimilate. All I know is that we have an income gap, and that he doesn't have the tools to improve things for himself. I used to be very open to dating men who aren't necessarily successful. But now, I'm getting really nervous since I suspect many men are trying to use women. My company just signed an agreement with a very high-profile corporation and it was announced. Ever since that happened, he's been calling it our company. I've told him he can't say that, as it's very misleading, and he laughs and says he's only kidding. 2 weeks ago, we had a very long conversation about his changes in personality, the way he treats the relationship and how I feel about it. He begged for a second chance and seemed to be really trying. Fast forward to last night. We were out with his friends when he drove us around the industrial complex where I'm establishing my new office, still painting and getting it ready. I thought he just wanted to see the aircrafts, and there is a small local airport close by, but he pointed at the side of the complex where my space is located, and his friends enthusiastically asked questions. I tried to hold back, but it made me very angry. I don't need to have my career showcased for anyone's benefit. We stopped for ribs and drinks, and he referred to the company as ours. I immediately asked, what company? And this time he was hesitant, but still answered. I lost it and told him off and immediately set the record straight. His friends looked embarrassed and confused while he tried to calm it down. I dumped him right there and rejected their offer to take me home. This morning, I woke up feeling embarrassed. I feel like I made a scene. I have no intention of going back to him or making up, but I don't know if I overdid it by chastising him. About me, I built this company from scratch, with lots of trials and errors, because I needed more formal education in my field, which I did get with lots of sacrifice. About him, he has a regular job, but he's very unhappy. He has tried to create companies on a string of failures. I really hate him, and I'm fed up, but his friend's girlfriend reached out to apologize if she and her boyfriend did something wrong, and said Brian was humiliated and took it really hard. Am I the a-hole? Now for the top comments. When you dumped him, did his relationship with your company change? Did he lose an office, title, ownership stake, or paycheck? If not, you didn't overreact. You very clearly asked him to stop pretending he was part of your company. I bet you paid for the ribs too. He hit the jackpot, a confident and successful partner who buys him ribs. And he blew it big time. His representative had a good thing going on, a woman with means, and he blew it by showing his true self. Had he waited it out maybe a year more, he would have OP hooked. Good thing he's a dumbass. Not the a-hole. Haha, for real. I think this is the real red flag. He thought she was so enamored that she wouldn't notice the shift. That's just plain insulting. Not the a-hole. This guy had more chances than he deserved. There were so many red flags. Lying about his ex, making you feel less, and of course taking credit for your hard work. Good riddance to flaming garbage. Not the a-hole. Absolutely, you deserve better. Multiple red flags, from dishonesty about his ex to undermining you and taking credit for your hard work. It's a relief to part ways with someone who displays such behavior. Onward and upward. Next story. Am I the a-hole for going scorched earth over my inheritance rings? My female 27 mom passed away a year ago. It was known that it was a possibility, so my mom divided up her jewelry my dad had gotten her over the years to give it to us if she passes. I'd picked out 2 rings I had helped my dad pick out. They were not cheap, about $10,000 a piece when I got them appraised. When I left my husband 30 male, I left pretty quickly and with basically nothing just to get out. I kept some of my stuff, but it was in our divorce agreement that certain things were to be given to me and held in a safe deposit box until I could get them. I took basically nothing monetarily from the marriage when I left and gave him basically everything. The divorce is now final and I finally came back to my home state to pick up the rings. I found out that he did not put the rings in a safety deposit box, just some of my other jewelry. I confronted him about it and I found out that not only did he not place them for safekeeping, he stored them in his new girlfriend's female 21 apartment, who says she had them in her jewelry box for safekeeping but she can't find them. She knew what they were according to the texts I have and that they were not his or a gift. I talked to my divorce lawyer and is filing a lawsuit since 1. Inheritance is not marital property and 2. My ex did not follow his end of the divorce decree. I'm asking for $25,000, the cost of the rings, plus emotional damages for the loss of the only thing I have left from my mom. I also filed a report to the police for the theft of the rings by his girlfriend. That probably won't go anywhere though, but they are investigating if she or he sold them. I think it's a high possibility given the value. I'm devastated losing these. They were so special to me. He and his girlfriend are angry at me because it's too much money that they don't have. She could get charged with theft or laundering the money from selling them for my ex. Not sure, this is mostly from my lawyer. And say it's just a couple rings. His friends, my old friends who I don't speak with, have been blowing up my phone calling me a witch, and that I hurt him so much already and to just leave it alone that I'm getting what I deserved. I wish I could get the rings back, but I'm so upset at this and over his whole attitude about it that I want to basically go scorched earth on them. At this point, it's not only about the sentimental value, but to give a big middle finger after everything. Am I the a-hole for suing my ex for my rings and potentially getting his girlfriend in legal trouble? Not the a-hole. He messed around and found out. The rings were your property, and he either lost or sold them. Hold them accountable. I fully believe he sold them. OP, try searching online. Typical jewelry resale sites or even quick cash sites. Check local pawn shops and ask around if you want/can bring photos. I'm willing to bet $25K something comes up. Not the a-hole. He needs to give you a complete and honest account of what happened to your rings. If he'd rather see his new girlfriend in jail than face the truth, well, it sucks to be her and be thrown under the bus. That's my biggest thing. I want to know where they went. If he could just tell me, locate them and give them back, I might not have to do this. It's not even about the money. It's about taking away something so important to me. Most likely they're in some pawn shop. I'm not in town much longer, but my siblings said they would search every pawn shop to see if one of them have it. Tell them you'll drop the charges if you can get them back. Tell them to call the pawn shop that they took them to and for them to go get them for the new owner. Who cares what his friends say? The rings were your property and he either lost or sold them. Hold them accountable. I agree. I just hate how my phone is blowing up. It's hard to continuously be called a witch/everything else they say about me. I've been thinking about changing my number over all this. No, don't change your number. Send all those calls to voicemail. Get screenshots of the texts and back them up to a cloud server or flash drive. You may need it as evidence for harassment, not the a-hole. Next story. Am I the a-hole for telling my husband to not be surprised and wonder what happened when he loses me and our kids? My 32 female husband, 30 male, have been together for 10 years. We have 2 children, 8 female ours and 11 male mine from a previous relationship. He's never been super active in our kids' lives, but he has always shown up when it counts. But this last week, he has started being more distant. He has been playing video games on his computer more often, like the time he gets home from work until 1 a.m. most days. We had a weekend of parades and events in town that the kids and I wanted to go. He says the last parade, on Sunday, was the one he thought we were planning to go to. So we skipped all the others and planned to all go to that one. Sunday rolls around. About 2 hours before we have to leave, he turns on his computer saying he needs to do something real quick. 45 minutes before the parade starts, we are getting ready to leave. This is when he decides he is going to just stay home. The kids and I went and had a great time together and got lots of beads, toys, candy, and other things thrown out to the crowd. The kids didn't seem to show they had any care that it was just the 3 of us. That following week, he wanted to start a server to be able to have for him and others to play on. It cost $80 to get started. I got paid in 3 days and told him he could wait until then to pay for it, but that wasn't taking money out of our savings to do so. He turns around and calls his mom to borrow the money. When I found out about it 2 days later and asked where he got the money, he told me. My mother-in-law and I have a somewhat strained relationship and money has always been an issue. My husband knows how I feel about this. I told him it would have been nice if he would have talked to me about it before cashing her and borrowing it from her. He tries to tell me he thought he did, then smirks because he knows for a fact he never did. He was trying to make me second-guess myself. This was also on Valentine's Day. Neither the kids nor I received anything from him for it, but his fervor got paid. I didn't make a big deal about it and just wanted to move on. That following weekend, our daughter had an art fair, showcasing her artwork. She was super excited about going and seeing what she did. He was up until 3 to 4 a.m. that night before on his game, once again. The next morning, he refused to wake up the 4 times I tried. He finally woke up and started moving around as we were about to have to leave. He decided at that point that he was just going to stay home. My daughter didn't seem to mind, but my heart just broke. So the kids and I left without him. We go to her art fair and saw that she painted a beautiful picture. I was very proud of her and she was so excited to see it up on a wall as well. We went to the activity room. I colored a picture, and her and my son colored and made other crafts. My daughter then said to me, "I'm kind of glad Dad didn't come. You're more fun when he's not around, and he's always so grumpy and rushes us." As if my heart wasn't hurt enough, it took all I had to not cry. Afterwards, we went and got donuts from our favorite place downtown to celebrate her accomplishment, something my husband wouldn't have been happy to do or done. We get home after about 3 hours, and there he is, on his computer. He can tell I'm upset and ask what's wrong. I told him it was sad that he couldn't take 3 hours out of his day to make his daughter feel special and show up for her, and that when he wakes up one day alone and the kids go no contact with him, to not be so surprised, and that he only has himself to blame. He laughed and said whatever and went back to playing. So am I the a-hole? Now for the top comments. It seems that you and the kids are better without him. What is he bringing to the table? It'd probably bring more if he were court-ordered too. The day he wakes up alone should be tomorrow. If it doesn't shake some sense into him, make it permanent. You're the a-hole for showing your daughter that it's acceptable to tolerate this kind of treatment from a partner. Women have options now. We don't have to tolerate crappy man who takes us for granted. That's the lesson you should be teaching your daughter. Your son should also be learning this lesson. Please make sure he learns to respect women and treat them accordingly. 100% this. Her daughter already knows it at 8. My opinion, she was trying to tell OP it's okay to leave her dad. She would be happier, and so would OP. My biggest fear is them blaming me for everything one day. But maybe that was her way of telling me it's okay. 100% she was telling you. My son was about 6 to 7 when he would make hints about his dad. You owe it to your daughter to show her what to accept and what not to. And at the moment, you are setting her up for a future with crappy boyfriends. And when you're having to comfort her when she's older, it will be on you for not leaving and showing her. Last story. Am I the a-hole for putting my boyfriend in child support? He is mad. No, we don't live together. We have a 6-month-old and we both are in contracts with our apartments. And we don't plan to legally live together until May of this year. I'll move into his apartment after my lease ends. My boyfriend is a great dad. He is very involved. Since he works night shifts, he literally spends all day with our daughter. But the problem is that he has not been financially supporting us. I have bought all the baby supplies. The last time he paid for something was a pack of diapers when she was 3 months old, and I had to keep reminding him to get diapers at his door. He won't use his paycheck on baby supplies because he's trying to save up his money for a new laptop. I'm getting sick of paying for all the baby supplies by myself. One day I had to ask my mom to buy us baby wipes, rash cream, and baby bath. It's ridiculous. He makes far more money than I do, but he's being frugal because his laptop broke and he needs another one. So I decided to put him on child support. I understand I can do that since he's just my boyfriend and not my husband. My boyfriend got really mad and told me that's the worst thing you can do to a man. He went on a rant calling me a gold digger and called me a snake, and somehow I betrayed him by filing for child support, like I warned him. He said, "Why would you file for child support when I'm still your partner and we're raising our daughter together? Me more than you anyways. Because you ain't footing in the bill like I am. He needs to help financially too and pay for some baby supplies. Now he's gonna be forced to by law, and he should expect a letter in the mail soon." That's the worst thing you can do to a man? He certainly needs to get out more. Not the a-hole. Literally, if the worst thing Opie can do to him is make him financially support his own child, which he won't do because he wants a laptop, then Opie should dump him, not move in with him. This is my vote. Also, if he's not supporting his child at all at this point, then I question whether he was really planning on them moving in together later. I'm not sure where they are or what kind of laptop he's looking to buy, but saying he can't buy diapers for several months to save for it doesn't sound reasonable to me. especially if he makes 5 times what OP makes and she's paying for everything. Not a-hole. I cannot imagine having a baby and not spending a single cent on them in 3 months. Clearly he has bought things for himself. Snacks, fast food, coffees, whatever. No matter how frugal he is being. Which means he can be unfrugal for himself and not your baby. He sees you paying for everything and figures, guess I don't have to help. Which makes him suck. She should get the child support and drop the boyfriend. It's doubtful he'll stay with her after this. He won't buy more than a single pack of diapers for his own kid. No way he lets the kid move in with him. And he sees her getting what their child is owed as a betrayal. He's not letting her move in now either. Better for OP and a baby though. My ex rarely paid for anything for our daughter. When I left him, he said it would be unfair to ask him to pay child support because he had bills. But the thing is, I knew how much he made and how much his bills were. He had plenty of disposable income. He just wanted to keep spending money on prostitution and OnlyFans girls instead of supporting the child he chose to have. He was given the choice to not be a dad and would have never even been put on a birth certificate if he had said he didn't want to be a dad. Get out of here with that unfair BS.